Names real quick. Hello, hello. All right. We are using a new system today, so bear with me, but I just want to double check to make sure we are live on YouTube and on Facebook because we want to make sure that Rachel and I are being heard by everybody today. So let's double check. Just let me do some housekeeping things. And then also, if you have any comments, questions, just want to let you know you could do that because we could see your comments here from our system. All right, just bear with me for like 3 seconds. I just want to double check and make sure we are live. All right, it looks like we are live. All right, everyone, welcome to the Biz Tea, which is a new segment hosted by Social Register Network, where we will bring you all the resources, the information, and the tools to help you navigate the business world, this entrepreneurial journey, and also help you build, grow, and scale your business. If we have not connected yet, my name is Mary Grace Iniguez, and I'm the owner and CEO of Social Register Network. Today, I have quite the honor to have one of the Nevada SBDC business development advisors to support you today and talk about the new BOI, which stands for Beneficial, I wrote it down, Beneficial Ownership Information, which is a new reporting requirement for businesses. Now, stay tuned because you want to make sure that it is your business structure that is required to fill out this reporting information. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Rachel. Come on in. There you are. Welcome, Rachel. Thank you so much for coming on with me and really being open to sharing more information. I know that with the SBDC, that is what you guys, that's one of your core values is supporting the businesses. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mary Grace. And so happy to be here. Thank you for allowing me to come and share some of the information that gets passed on to us through the Nevada SBDC. So really appreciate that. We are here, as Mary Grace mentioned, we are here as a resource for our small business community. That's entrepreneurs, even if you are an established business, even in the growth phase, even those that are looking at exit strategies. So we are really here designed to help companies at all stages of their business, growth and stages. So Nevada SBDC, for those of you that aren't familiar, the SBDC stands for Small Business Development Center, and we are funded by the SBA. So the SBA offers government-backed loans, kind of like FHA loans for your home mortgage loans. So it is a government agency. But we do receive funding from the SBA. So these are your tax dollars at work. So when the president or Congress says we are going to invest more money in small businesses, this is one of the ways that they do it. They fund these small business development centers where we can provide one-on-one consultations with our clients, all confidential and at no cost to you. So really, really great resource. There are a lot of expert consultants out there that specialize in legal, accounting, all of these different areas. But we kind of view ourselves as the first stop for you. So we have a lot of clients that come in at the conceptual stage. I have an idea. Let's go through it and let's see what sort of analysis you've done, how realistic you are, if this is just an idea, or if you're really ready to take it to the next level. So in that we are offering this sort of a resource to our small business communities, we also are fed information from the federal government on new reporting requirements, new compliance issues. And so having this sort of a format is really effective and is really kind of an honor for us to be able to do this as a form of outreach, to be able to reach all of the small businesses directly. So in speaking about BOI, we've been receiving a lot of emails and a lot of questions regarding BOI, which stands for Beneficial Ownership Information. And this is a new reporting requirement that was put out by it's a sub-agency of the Department of Treasury, and it's called FinCEN. And FinCEN stands for Financial Criminal Enforcement Network. So the BOI reporting requirements were part of a Corporate Transparency Act that was approved by Congress a few years back. And so this new reporting requirement is really just to enforce that Transparency Act. And the idea behind it, or the purpose for it, is really to prevent money laundering, tax fraud, terrorist financing. So it allows for that extra layer of government reporting and registering so that the government knows that the information that you're providing out to the public is now available, so that, with all the different scammers coming about, it just gives you that added level of protection. That's really what it's for. So the BOI reporting requirements become effective January 1st, 2024. I know it's not a lot of time they gave everybody, and they just sort of threw it out there. So there's a lot of fear out there as to what it means, if there are penalties associated with it, what's considered a violation, what information do you actually have to provide. And so hopefully at it in the comment section, or feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will give you my information at the end of this. So so it doesn't apply to all businesses. This is really about the businesses that are already registered with their states. So those of you that are corporations and LLCs, this does apply to you. And you will have to provide the information for any owner in your organization that has an ownership of at least 25%. Okay. And the information you'll need to provide, legal name, the jurisdiction address. So if your legal address is an executive suite office, use that address versus your home, even if you're operating from your home. The other information is they will ask for your the date of birth, as well as your tax ID number. Okay, so that's really for corporations and LLCs that are already registered with the state. If you are a sole proprietor, do you need to do the reporting? Does this apply to you? No, it does not apply to you. And this also, for most trusts, it also does not apply to you. So the trick here is really, we get a lot of clients that come in, as I mentioned, that come in with a concept, with an idea, and they want to deal with their LLC formations later on down the road. So the trick here is, if you are already filed as a corporation or LLC prior to January 1st, 2024, the FinCEN says, okay, we know it's new for you guys, so we're going to give you some time to get used to all of the new things that we're pushing out there. So we'll give you a year to actually file. So even though if you are formed before January 1st, 2024, you still have until January 1st, 2025 to actually do your reporting requirements. The trick here is for those that are thinking about pushing it off until after January 1st, 2024, and you file January 2nd, 2024, you only have 30 days to file. And I know this gets a little tricky, and people get nervous. So are you sure you're even ready to file your LLC? So we can have that as a separate discussion. Again, as a business advisor with the SBDC, I'm here to help consult in those different areas and see if it's something that makes sense for you to push before January 1st. So I am available to answer some of those questions for you. But really, for the purpose of this, I think it's just really important to note that, how it is with the government. If you don't file on time, there are fines and fees associated with it. Before January 21st, January 1st, 2024, you have a whole year. You're good to do that filing. If you do your LLC or corporate registration with Secretary of State after January 1st, you have 30 days. What happens if you don't file after 30 days? It's like $500 a day fine.
A day.
So it
A
is
day.
pretty hefty.
Hmm.
And what they say is if you deliberately just avoid it completely, because that's part of this whole reporting requirement, right? They want to see if you are legitimate, if you have no problem sharing that information for the purpose of, international security, right? Then there's no worries. But if you're deliberately avoiding it, what is that saying to our federal government? And so those hefty daily fines could be in effect. There could also be criminal charges and up to like a $10,000 fine, 2 years imprisonment, all of these things that the federal government says if you're deliberately avoiding it, there's probably a reason and they will probably investigate you. So again, this isn't meant to be a scare tactic. It is just meant to be information. And I will be happy to provide ongoing guidance and information. I believe that they have like a small business guidance handbook. And once I obtain a copy of that, I'd be happy to share it with you and your members as well, Mary Grace.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you,
yeah,
Marie.
yeah, there's a lot of information with that. And,
Mhm.
and so I guess for now, are there any questions before I kind of move on and go a little deeper into the
Yes.
details?
So just to clarify, there is a couple of questions, so I'll share them with you, well, with everyone. Is so just to clarify, is if you already have a LLC created before 2024, you will have the whole year of 2024 until January 1st of 2025 to start reporting, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, if you decide to create an LLC in 2024 or decide, you know what, I'm ready for my LLC, because I do understand that there are a lot of sole proprietors waiting for that time for them, then you would be required to start reporting immediately, but you do have a 30-day pretty much like grace period to do that.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
awesome. So, my question to piggyback to that is, I understand, yes, it's a new business. So it doesn't matter if you're renewing in 2024, you're still considered a established LLC. Like that, you still have the year.
Exactly. So,
Okay.
yeah, so they go by the creation date of your entity.
Okay. Awesome. I wanted to make sure that was clear. Now, the next
Yes.
question we have in the comments is, where do we get this form or whatnot to fill out?
So, FinCEN is supposed to be sending out a link to all the registered businesses so that they can file directly. As of last week before Christmas, they hadn't quite finished the actual form nor the website. So I think it's still under work. So as soon as I receive information and confirmation that they will be sending out, I will let you know. I'll definitely share that information. But they should be reaching out to you directly. So again, there are companies out there that specialize in taking care of all of your reporting requirements, right? So even though it can be a simple process, just kind of navigating through the systems, and is this really what the form is asking? Sometimes people just need a little bit of clarity. As a business advisor, if you're one of our clients, we can help walk you through that process and make sure that all of your registrations are complete and in compliance. But there are separate companies out there that provide this as a service. So if they do, just as an FYI, just information, but if they do come to you and they say, we're bundling these services, we can also do your annual reporting of your officers. We can do your LLC, your new entity formation, and do your BOI reporting requirements at this cost, then that's up to you as a consumer to think, wow, you know what, it might be worth it. I don't want to deal with that paperwork. I don't want to deal with a government agency websites, and the service itself may be worth it for you. But there are other companies that are posing as just coming in to take care of your BOI reporting requirements. The reporting itself will be free. So, again, to avoid the scammers and not to give in to any fear that they're presenting your way and make you feel like you have to respond immediately and you need to pay for that specific service. Just some information in that regard. Again, it is free. I would probably double check and just make sure that whoever is presenting you with that offer is legitimate. If it sounds a little fishy, feel free to reach out. I can do a little bit of research along with you and see if that could help answer that question. But it should be, the idea is the government agency formed FinCEN. They have the BOI reporting requirements. They will reach out to you directly for those that are already registered with their states. And so you should be able to click on a link and fill out this form directly with them. And so it should be a pretty simple process, but it is new and it will be an annual reporting requirement. So
Okay, so awesome. Just like when I renew my LLC, it sends me a reminder. It sort of should be like the same concept, sending me an email.
exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Now, the next question, which I'm glad they asked, is this solely for the state of Nevada?
No, it's there are two different types of reporting entities that are required. One is domestic, so that's federal, anybody or U.S. based company. So anybody in any state, registered in any state, must do this. It's a federal register. And then the second type of a company is a foreign company. So those companies that are where the owners are in a different country, but they have filed as a foreign reporting company to be able to do business in the United States. They also have that same requirement. So this is meant to be anybody that is doing business in the United States must be registered with FinCEN.
That's an awesome question. Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Mhm.
All right. And then I thank you, Rachel, for mentioning that, there are a lot of spammers out there, scammers, and there are services that provide it. But just like anything else, there are services people provide to make it easier for you. But also, if you don't know, that SBDC, you can go to the office and get a complimentary, business development advisor like Rachel to support you in that. And it's complimentary. So if you didn't know, it is a free service. And if you are not in Nevada, because I do have quite, a handful of members all across the nation, we can connect you with Rachel, and then she can connect you with your local SBDC, because
Absolutely.
there's a local SBDC in every city or every state, basically.
In every state. So the SBA funds the SBDC is a Small Business Development Centers in every state. Some states have more than one, I believe. So in Nevada, we have two main ones, one out of university or out of UNR, Reno, and then one based at UNLV. There are some smaller satellite offices that are associated with the chambers, but our hosts are usually tied to a university. But we try to respond to the growth within the business communities and just try to be as accessible as possible. So here in Southern Nevada in particular, I work out of the UNLV Research and Tech Park office. And we do have offices out of the North Las Vegas or city of North Las Vegas. We have one at the Urban Chamber, Henderson Chamber of Commerce. There are some that are staffed during the day. I work remotely as well as the office. So if you wanted to work with me directly or had questions for me, best bet would be to reach out to me directly, and I'll share my calendar with you. We can just kind of go from there, whichever's most convenient for you.
Okay, there's a question coming up. I can see it loading. I think I may be confused. Is this for sole proprietors and LLCs or just LLCs?
So sole proprietors do not need to do BOI reporting. This is for LLCs and corporations. So there's some confusion in terms of S corps. Are S corps included? So the S corp is your tax designation. That's with the IRS. So that really has nothing to do with your legal entity. The legal entity, how you formed with the Secretary of State, is what they're going by. So if you filed and are registered as a corporation, as an LLC, an LLP, a benefit corporation, those all have to do with reporting requirements. I'm not sure about nonprofits. I will double check on that. I'll make myself a note in case there are any questions. I'm sure you have some members that have nonprofits, so I will double check that.
Yeah, there's one member logged on right now who owns a nonprofit, and I'm glad you
Okay.
mentioned that because that was my next question too. How about nonprofits?
I would imagine so because it's still registered with the Secretary of State. The majority of sole proprietors are not. Some register with the Secretary of State so that they have some documentation, so they for their bankers, so they can have a banking relationship and an actual company business account. But it doesn't necessarily give you any legal protection beyond that. And so they're really looking at the ones that are more of a corporate structure. And nonprofits are still highly regulated. They just have different, they just don't get taxed. It operates a little differently, but in terms of an actual legal entity, it's still a legal entity. So I will double check that for you and for your members.
Thank you, Rachel. And we're getting a great number of comments on YouTube and Facebook. I would like to work with Rachel.
Oh,
I would like to,
good.
and I would love, that would actually warm my heart for us to, for all of you to work with Rachel. So, I actually work with Rachel as well, and there are options. Actually, first, before we go into giving all your information, was there anything else that they needed to know in regards to the BOI?
Really, let me see if I've covered. Um, I think that's really the majority of the information. The purpose of it, the why behind it. Again, it is a federal agency, and a lot of companies are like, do we really have to provide more personal information? But I think understanding the purpose behind it as part of the Corporate Transparency Act, so we can eliminate or at least expose the spammers and scammers and, terrorist financing and money laundering, tax fraud. Those are things that we really, that impact us, not necessarily from a fear standpoint, but when we have these sort of fraud happening, it impacts national security. It impacts if they defraud lenders on things. So it boils down to, it affects our interest rates. It impacts who they want to do business with. Are additional reporting requirements needed because they're trying to identify potential scammers and such. So there is kind of a trickle down effect with that. And so there is this main purpose behind it, and they are asking for everyone's cooperation. It's legally mandated now, but I think just the quicker that we can all be part of this registry, the quicker it will be for them to be able to kind of filter out the ones that are legitimate and participating in the program and the ones who are still questionable, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel, for again providing us with all the resources and tools. Rachel is actually my advisor. So when I saw that she was posting about it and also saw a couple of videos pop up on social media, I was like, okay, well, we need to inform the business community and get a reliable source versus just some random person, sharing on social media, somebody who is backed by the SBDC, who is supporting business owners in her community. So thank you again, Rachel, for coming on and sharing that
Absolutely.
information with us.
I do have one thing to clarify. I realize that I said this will be an annual reporting requirement. It's actually, as of now, only required to do once.
Oh,
So once you're in the registry, and unless they change it, so should there be an ownership change in your company, I'm not sure how they're going to address it, but I think they're anticipating for this first year to have like 6.5 million companies registered. And then beyond that, 2025 and beyond would probably double. So I think the idea is let's get everybody in this major registry and database, and then we're good to go unless there are any sort of changes to your company.
that's even better to hear that we do it one time.
Yeah.
Super easy.
For now.
Super easy. Yes,
For
yes.
now.
Okay, so this is what everyone's waiting for. They want your information. So, like I mentioned, Social Register Network, we work with Rachel. She is my advisor. And so there are she's always here to answer your questions. So we will give her information to you so you can get connected with her. But if you do want to work one-on-one with her, there are other steps that you have to take, like filling out a form. I know I did that. So we'll make sure you get that information. So how can they get in touch with you, Rachel?
Um, Feel free to email me. I'll give you my direct work email, and that's Rachel, Rachel, dot, and this is a long one, Gomez Autry, Gomezautry, at unlv.edu. So that's rachel.gomezautry@unlv.edu. Feel free to email me. If you'd like more one-on-one, it's all confidential counseling. It's basically covered with an NDA, so we don't share any of your personal confidential information. Then we do ask that you register directly with the nevadasbdc.org. There should be a button there, request advising. The center that you would select would be UNLV Research and Tech Park. And then just list my name under referral description. What happens is when you register with a state, it goes into the state agency portal. But if you put my name there, then they'll transfer you to me. And that way I would have record of directly advising you. So, but feel free to reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to help and answer any questions you might have.
Yes, she's very, very helpful. And of course, if you are in another state, you can always email her and she can direct you to your local SBDC because they are here to help. I was even surprised that we had an office here that we can go to. And so I'm excited for the future. Rachel is also a member of Social Register Network, so you will be seeing her a lot, and also some collaborative efforts on creating events and providing more resources and providing more information to ensure that you're navigating this business world with the reliable resources that we have here that are free. These are free resources.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Mary Grace, what you are providing for your business community is really outstanding. I know as members, you see her a lot. She's very visible. She's very accessible. She is there really for you. And to be able to host these sort of segments to bring the information directly to you is invaluable. And so allowing us to come in and share us as a resource, but also the information that we're sort of tasked to share is a pretty wonderful thing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I'm always about, reliable resources because there's a lot of information out there, but we want to make sure we're getting the right information. So thank you, Rachel, for everything that you do for Social Register, but also for our community. And we will make sure, just to close it out, we will make sure that I put in all the information, Rachel's email, and also the website link she mentioned and the instructions on how to locate her if you are in Nevada and want to work directly with Rachel. I'll put all those instructions also in the description of this video in our members group, but also on YouTube. So please reach out. This is what it's for. And if you have any questions or any resources you would love information on, please just reach out to us. This is what the Biz Tea is all about. It's about providing those resources and information to help you navigate this business world and this entrepreneurial journey to make sure that you can build, grow, and scale your business in a way that is you're protected. You're protected and you're doing it the right way. All
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.